Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight we're back out here in the garage for part 2 of the video series on the Pan Am. So tonight I'm going to show you guys how to check your chain tension and lube your chain, and also check your spokes to make sure you don't have any loose spokes. So just a couple simple things that you need to know, but this is also part of that 5,000 mile service, especially checking the chain tension. Now, you should be lubing the chain. The manual says every 600 miles. Under normal highway riding conditions, I generally try to do it every 5 because it makes it nice and easy. I just know that every time I see 500 miles tick over on my odometer that I need to lube the chain next time I stop for gas or get home or whatever. So it just makes it nice and easy. I do it every 500, and really it's not going to hurt anything. You might end up with a little excess chain lube that gets slung off. But now, talking about chain lubes, I have 2 different types. The one I prefer is the Maxima chain wax. Been using this stuff for years on dirt bikes and other, motorcycles, ATVs. Works great. It's a paraffin base, but it is designed for O-ring chains. This stuff, the best time to apply it is to put it on the chain when the chain is warm, like after you get home from a ride. Get it on the chain as soon as you get back, and that will allow it to soak in, get pulled into the links as the chain cools off, and this will actually harden up on the chain and not sling off as easily. I also have the Lucas chain lube. This is a really good chain lube, but it is more of an oil base. So occasionally I do tend to use this one just to give it a little bit different lubricant, maybe something that'll soak in just a little bit more. I actually carry this one in my side case. That way, if I'm out on the road, I need to lube my chain, I just throw it up on the center stand, which is nice about the 1250 Special. It does have a center stand. I can throw it up on the center stand in a parking lot, lube the chain. Takes about 30 seconds, a minute to get the chain lubed. Roll it off the center stand. Let it sit there for a couple minutes while I'm putting gas in it or whatever, or maybe right after I get to work in the morning. And then whenever I'm ready to go, it's ready to go. So, real quick, we're going to get the lift up in the air, and I'm going to show you how to check, adjust, lube your chain, check your spokes. Stay tuned for part 3 of the video where we're going to tear into it. I'm going to show you how to check the air cleaner and go over the other points of the 5,000 mile service. So hopefully you have a pretty good view of the chain here. Now, your drive chain, there are 2 different measurements in the manual for the drive chain. One is on the side stand, and if you're using excuse me, if you're using non-metric measurements, that's going to be 1.81 to 2.20 inches, or 50 to 60 millimeters if you're using the metric system. If you're on the center stand, it's 1.97 inches to 2.36 inches, or 46 to 56 millimeters of slack in the chain. So what that means is, from its lowest point to its highest point, since we're technically on the center stand, I have the rear tire up just enough where we can roll the chain over. That means we're looking for 46 to 56 millimeters from all the way down to all the way up, measured on the same point of the chain from the same point on the swing arm. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to pick a reference point on the swing arm, and I'm going to use this point right here. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to use this point right here, which is basically going to be my highest arch in the swing arm. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. And that's where I'm going to take my measurement from. And if I use the very top of this link, if I pull down, I'm at 5 1/4, I'm at 4 3/4 all the way down. I am at 2 inches all the way up. So that means I'm at 2 3/4 inches, which means my chain is actually a little bit loose. Now, in the manual, it tells you to roll the chain over, take this measurement at several different points in the chain, which we can do the same thing here. So 4 3/4. If I push up, 2 inches. So I could roll this over several times, take several measurements, but it's going to come back that if I'm looking for 2.36 inches maximum, which is going to be roughly 2 1/4 inches, then I'm just a little bit loose. So if it happens to be a little bit loose, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to tighten that back up. Okay, so to break the nut on the back axle loose so we can make the chain adjustment, you're going to need 1 7/16 inches on the nut side, and you're going to need 1 1/4 inches on the bolt head side. Now, I cannot find a torque spec for this nut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my torque wrench, and I'm going to watch the torque that I have to apply to it to get it to move. Once it moves, I know that that is approximately going to be my tightening torque, and that should get me close enough that I'm not going to have any damage. So we're at 102 foot-pounds when it broke loose. So roughly 100 foot-pounds is going to be my torque value to tighten it. So we're going to break the nut loose. Now, once we have this nut loosened up, now it's hand tight. Now we're going to, we need a 1/2 inch for our adjuster bolts. And I want to make the same number of turns on each side so that I can pull that axle straight back, and then I'll show you how to measure it here in a second. So I'm going to go 1, that's 90 degrees, or 180 degrees, sorry. So 1 full turn on that side. We'll come over to this side. We'll do exactly the same thing. Hopefully you guys can see all right. There aren't too many shadows here. So, get my wrench out of the way. So, straight down. So, 1, 2, and then we're going to come back over here and check our chain tension. It doesn't take much to make the adjustments that we need to make. So keep in mind, I'm looking for 2 to 2 1/4 inches roughly of free play in the chain. So we get it right here, pull that down. I'm now 4. It's gonna be hard to see. I know my fat fingers in the way. We're 4 1/8 right there. If I push it up, I'm at 3 1/2, which means I have 1 5/8 inches. So we're a little tight now. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm going to loosen these up. 1/2 turn on each side. So we'll go 180 degrees there. Same thing on the opposite side. You can see the chain moves as I do this. Now once I've done that, I want to make sure I push in on the rear tire. Take this. We're going to measure it again. So same spot on the swing arm, push down on the chain. I'm now at 4 1/2, push up on the chain, and I'm at 2 1/8. So I'm right in between, and I could go just a little bit tighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quarter of a turn tighter on each side. Right there. Right there. Now, we'll check it one more time. Oh, get in there. So, pull down on the chain. Pull down hard. I'm at 4 3/8. Push up, same length. I am at 2 1/2. So I am just under 2 inches of free play in the chain, which 1.97 is on my center stand is tight. So I'm gonna call that good. That is plenty tight enough. Now, once we've done that, we're gonna come back here. We'll come back here and I can measure from the center. If I cut an inch, measure from roughly the center to the back of the swing arm right there where the nut lands, and I am at 2 1/8 inches on this side, and I'll double check the same measurement on this side in the exact same manner. 2 1/8. So our axle is square to our swing arm. That's what I wanted to check here, is to make sure that the axle and the tire are square to the rest of the bike. So since I have the same measurement on both sides, we're square to the bike. I'm going to set my torque wrench for 100 foot-pounds. And put my wrench on the opposite side to hold the axle from rotating. I guess it would help if I put it in the tighten, not loosen. Oop. There we go. Right down there. 50. All right, now everything spins nice and free. Perfect. And everything is locked down. Okay, now, quick tip. Come back over here. Now that we have our chain adjusted, and we picked out our favorite adjustment spot on our swing arm, we're gonna take a small piece of wood. I'm gonna hold it right up against the swing arm in our favorite spot. Pull down on the chain. If I can hold this. Pull down on the chain. And I'm gonna make a mark. Then I'm gonna push all the way up on the chain, same length, and I'm gonna make a mark. Now, got those two marks on the chain, or on the piece of wood, and then I'm going to take my handy paint pen. Mark that out. I can let this dry. I can throw it in my toolkit on my bike. Now I have a quick reference that I can throw my bike on my center stand, put that up against the bottom of the swing arm, pull down, push up. Am I in adjustment? Am I out of adjustment? If I need to make an adjustment, now I have a quick reference without carrying a ruler or tape measure as to where I need to have my chain set. Set our chain tension. So, lubricating our chain. Let me get my light. So the easiest way to lubricate our chain, let me take a look at it. It's not really dirty, it's got a little bit of lube still on there. Not bad. With the chain wax, you need to shake it up. And then, if I get this to quit rolling around. There days. Got it shaken up really well. As I spin the tire, just spray it right into the chain links. Get a good coating all the way around. As you can see, it's already coming back around. We'll go ahead and add just a little bit more, just to be on the safe side. We've got plenty of time for this stuff to set on the chain. All right. Now, we've got a nice coating there. We can also come up here. It's going to be a little hard to see. But as I spin the rear tire, get a little bit on the inside of the chain as well. Let that run around that front sprocket. And it never hurts to hit the side plates just a little. Make sure you get in between the side plates on the chain. There we go. We'll let that soak in. Now, while you're doing this, you also need to take the time to inspect your chain guides, which on this bike, you have that chain guide right there that wraps around that swing arm. And you can see there's very, very minimal wear. It's still in good shape on that side. Looks good there. From right here, you can see the guide running down the back, and it looks good. Our guides are in good shape. All right. Now, I alluded to the fact that hold on, turn this off, it's getting hot here. The other day I alluded to the fact that you should be checking your spokes every time you ride. Now, the easiest way to check your spokes to make sure you don't have any loose spokes, first, just look it over. My wheel needs to be cleaned badly. We've had some adventures, but it's definitely getting a little dirty here. So that's on the agenda for a day that it's a little warmer outside, where I can take it out and wash it. But we need to take a good look at all our spokes, make sure there's none that are bent, broken, damaged. They're dirty, but a little dirt's about the extent of it. Now, the easiest way to check them, take your chain tension tool, just tap them or drag it around them. Now, you can hear how they all have a sound to them. And you can do this from one side of the bike. So you're going to do that all the way around. Check them all. They don't all have to have the same tone. If you notice, some of them have a little bit different tone. That is normal because some of these spokes, they're all going to be slightly different tensions, because when you true the wheel, when you put this outer wheel on and you true it, you tension the spokes to get the wheel true. You set an initial torque and then you go through and you tension all the spokes to get that wheel to spin nice and true. So sometimes some spokes are a little tighter than others just to true that wheel up. That is absolutely 100% normal and it's nothing to worry about. You just want to make sure you don't hear any of them that sound dull. So you don't get that nice ding. It's more of a thud when you tap on it. Then you're going to know you've got a loose spoke or potentially a broken spoke, and you need to get it in and get it checked out. So you'll do that with both your front and rear wheels. Some of the other things that you need to check while we're down here, and it's very easy, is take a quick look at your rear brake pads. You can see we have plenty of rear brake pad. Our rotor looks like it's in really good shape. Mind you, we only have 5,000 miles on this bike. There is no brake pulse. We come up here, there's our rear brake fluid. You can see it is completely full. The fluid does not look cloudy, it looks nice and clear. Front brake fluid is the same way. You could use just a touch in the front brake fluid, but it's nice and full and it's not cloudy. And then come up here to the front, and it's going to be hard for me to show you guys, but you can see, if you look on both sides of the rotor, the pad thickness in the front, same over here, and the condition of the rotors looks good up here as well. So always go through, check over everything. This is a good time. Remember, if your radiator is dirty, to clean it. Same thing, while we had the skid plate off yesterday, I should have shown you, but your battery on a Pan America is tucked in behind here. It's a good time to check the terminals, make sure they're clean, and rectify it if necessary. So, as you can see, our radiator looks pretty clean. It could use a good rinse, but that's about it. So, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I've shown you how to check your spokes, shown you how to check, adjust, and lubricate your drive chain, check your brakes, check your brake fluid. The only thing we didn't do is actually check the moisture content of our brake fluid, and unfortunately I don't have the equipment to do that, so most at-home mechanics are not going to have the proper equipment to check moisture content on brake fluid. So if you ever have a concern about that, take it to the Harley dealer. But as long as the seals on your master cylinders are in good shape, you don't use any brake fluid from an unsealed container, you should be fine. Just make sure if you do have to add brake fluid, you use .4 brake fluid, not .3. Don't go cheap. All right, so like I said, guys, please do me a favor, rate the video, subscribe to the channel. Questions, throw them down in the comments. Stay tuned for the next part of this series, where I'm going to show you how to check the air cleaner and go over a couple more of the checks on the bike. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next one.